Welcome back, everyone. Carl Weiss at Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation here. And of course, we have our esteemed guest, Heidi Thompson, who has written an amazing book on estate planning in the state of Arizona. And please get a copy of this and please reach out to Heidi directly if you have any estate planning questions. Still several topics to hit. And I know as we talked about a couple of things, but I want to kind of actually back up one step because there's a topic that we've discussed before, and I want to encapsulate this one because I think it's really quick, or at least I hope so, and that is on the beneficiary deeds, right? So
Mm.
oftentimes I am asked questions by clients, and um, they would like advice, and of course, I'm in no way qualified to handle any kind of estate planning as a residential loan officer. But Arizona is unique. Arizona is one of a handful of states that has this document that we have advantage of, called a beneficiary deed, which allows the homeowner to basically um, retitle the home over to the person of their choice upon their death, that gets recorded but never shows up in the county documents. So no one knows that it's out there until they pass.
Not true. It's searchable right now, as
It
soon
is
as it's
searchable.
recorded. It
Okay,
is
great.
searchable right now. Um, as soon as it's recorded, it will show up as the latest deed in the chain of title.
Okay,
But the beneficiary listed on it um, doesn't have any rights until the death. So
okay,
it can be changed and re-recorded at any time.
okay. And so is if we're talking about, a planning technique to use for a client who, at the very simplest side of the world, they they've purchased their first home. They have no equity, they have no assets, um, but they would like their home to go to someone, let's say they're a single borrower and they'd like it to go to someone. Is a beneficiary deed in the state of Arizona, and other states presumably that allow for a beneficiary deed, is that a good way to have someone transfer that asset?
If you're not going to have a trust, I really like the beneficiary deed. So if I'm doing a will-based plan, I will always do a beneficiary deed along with it for the house.
Okay,
Because it's a super simple deed, and it just says, upon my death, I want the house to go to, and the person that you named as the beneficiary of the house. And all that has to happen for them to own that house is, upon your death, they record your death certificate. They're now the sole owner. An
great.
affidavit makes it theirs. Super easy, avoids probate, nice and clean.
Well, thanks.
But
And that's exactly what I wanted to hit, is from our earlier conversation, is the beneficiary deed avoids probate, correct?
it's us. It's a
Okay,
wonderful, wonderful deed for that purpose, easy and clean. It doesn't vest, meaning they don't have any right until the death. So really, anytime you can change your mind, not a problem. Now, the one place I don't like the beneficiary deed, and I know in your world you're going to appreciate this, is the reverse mortgage.
100% agree. Please tell people from your perspective why that's a horrible idea.
Okay. No problem. So, um, in general, like if you did no estate planning and you had a reverse mortgage, your beneficiaries, well, the person that they reach out to, the mortgage company reaches out to, that they think is in charge, might be a personal representative, might just be your kids, whatever, that they're going to find. They're going to have 90 days to make a decision about what they want to do with the house, that they have to respond to a letter, and they're going to get to choose from several options. One of those options is, yes, I want to take over the house. Another one is, no, you go sell it. I'll just take some equity, and they're going to sell it for cheaper, and you're not doing the work. Another one is going to be, it's upside down for the
Mhm.
mortgage, but I want to still have it right side up with 5% equity, which is a lovely offering that a lot of the mortgage companies, I know Fairway does, on
Correct.
their reverse mortgages. So even if mom used the reverse mortgage, lived way longer than she planned, and ended up in an upside down position on the house, the kids still get a 5% equity stake at mom's death in the house.
Correct.
Cool. Very cool.
Yep.
The problem is, if we do a beneficiary deed, the kids don't get that 90-day letter. They don't get a choice. They own mom's debt
Right. The day after death, correct?
the
Like
day
as
after
soon as
death.
that deed is basically enacted,
Yeah.
from that beneficiary deed, we've now shoveled that onto their shoulders as their problem.
Yes. So if it's $40,000 upside down, you now have a $40,000 lien on the house you get to deal with instead of a 5% equity stake.
Correct.
So I do not like beneficiary deeds for reverse mortgages. Anything else they're great for, just not the reverse mortgage. You can, however, have a reverse mortgage held in the trust. It is not a problem. It is not the same thing. So if you are doing a reverse mortgage and you're looking to do an estate plan, my suggestion is you've got to do the trust. You cannot go the other route unless you want to
Yeah.
have probate for your family, and I don't recommend that.
I don't recommend that either, right? That's a horrible idea given a choice. And, I think it's such a great point because,
But
part of the,
really, probate or beneficiary deed with the reverse mortgage, I'd pick probate.
yeah. Right. Well, yeah, because you still, one of the benefits of having the reverse mortgage is essentially, you've got non-recourse debt, right? That's what when you have a reverse mortgage, that's, at least a traditional HECM, through HUD and FHA. And that gives you some abilities basically to have some bells and whistles that you would undercut yourself if you had the beneficiary deed, and you were upside down. There's a lot of ifs and ands, but at the end of the day, why would you even want to muddy water that's already been not only paid for up front through the mortgage insurance premium, but the loan style itself that gives you, options? Why would you want to get rid of those options just because you died?
Exactly. I
I love
couldn't
it.
say.
I think that's fantastic. And it's good. So for everybody else, I mean, I think, if I were to kind of layer the estate planning from somebody, who has done no estate planning whatsoever, the hierarchy, I would say, day one of buying a house is not a bad time to get a beneficiary deed established. Day 2 and 3 might be great. Sit down with Heidi and figure out if you need a will or a trust, but those would probably be the steps of the ladder, if you will.
I actually don't disagree with you.
Okay.
And I don't, I, I think the beneficiary deed is a great entry step into estate planning. I
Mhm.
sometimes, if people are running charities, I'll even donate those sometimes. The free beneficiary deed is kind of just that intro to estate planning because it does. Your biggest asset's the house. It's the one that's most likely to be a probate asset if you don't do something about it. So I 100% on the same page as
Okay,
you.
great. Excellent. Well, I think that wraps up this session. We will be right back with our next segment. Please feel free to join us for that in just a second.